Good afternoon, Ron. Thank you for your time today. Last week you said for you to part ways with a future asset such as a draft pick, the player coming back would have to be someone that can make your team noticeably better. What does Jeff Carter offer that allows him to meet that criteria?
Jeff offers a lot. I think first of all in his game, he's got speed. He's a playoff proven player. He's got a lot of versatility. He can play special teams, 5-on-5. He can play center. He can play the wing. So he just brings a lot to the table for us. We felt like it was enough of an upgrade. Our team has done a very good job through a tremendous amount of injuries and to key players. We've had a lot of guys step up, and we felt like they've done a good enough job. And essentially, the team forced us to do this. Isn't probably the right phrase, but made us think long and hard about where we're at and what area we could try to get better to give us a better chance to, first of all, make the playoffs and then have success in the playoffs. So this is acquiring Jeff is really a credit to the job that our players have done.
Taylor Haas.
Hey, Ron, thanks for doing this. When you spoke with Carter after the trade, just what was that conversation like? What kind of reaction did you sense from him? He probably thought he might, finish his career in LA.
Yeah. You know what? Jeff was very good. I think there was a time where there was Jeff wanted to finish in LA, kind of, I think, envisioned himself finishing in LA, which I think a lot of players, when they're with the team, not a lot of guys that do want to get traded. But I can tell you, I talked to him last night, probably around 1:30 our time. So it was early his time. And he was in a terrific mood. His exact words to me, I think the quote was, "I'm all in. I can't wait to get there." So we have a player here that's won 2 Stanley Cups, and he's hungry to win another. And his reaction last night, I thought, was terrific. I asked him, I said, "You know what, Jeff, you've been around a long time. Do you need a day or so to get your stuff together before you come out?" And he said, "I can come out whenever you want. I'm ready to go tomorrow," which is today. So credit to Jeff. He should be here tonight, and hopefully we can get him in with the rest of the guys tomorrow.
Rob Rossi.
Before I ask, do you anticipate having Evgeny Kasperi and Brandon return before the postseason?
That's a difficult question. Tans, I don't believe will be back before the playoffs. That's a tough injury to judge. Cappy is probably the easiest. I would think Cappy, I'm guessing, somewhere in the 10 to 14 day range. And Gino's a little tougher again, but I do believe Gino will be back before the regular season ends.
Dan Kingerski.
Hi, Ron. I'm curious just how much of the last 2 weeks affected your decision-making coming to the trade deadline, all of the wins and the good play.
Well, I don't typically make decisions on 2 weeks, so it's sort of more been a 2-month process here. That Burke and I have been here, and you watch the team for 2 months, and the word chemistry is a big part of all this, and the chemistry that this group has right now and has had the entire year is special. So when we started thinking about, okay, can we add a really good player? And again, we weren't going to add, and I said this to you guys, we weren't going to add a depth player, so to speak. If we were going to add a player and take assets away, we were going to add a player that we felt like could make an impact. The fact that, Jeff's cap number, because LA retained half, is low, really helped us. And obviously, we got a pretty good player for a year and change here. So the deal made sense for us, and I think it was a good deal for LA as well. They have a lot of kids coming, and they got a couple more assets from us.
Jeff Hathorn.
Ron, you mentioned that the team kind of forced you to do this. What what do you like about the play? Obviously, you like the wins recently, but what do you like about the style of play that believes that will lead to success in the postseason?
Well, I really like I mentioned earlier, chemistry, but our will. We've had, you can argue 5 of our top forwards out and for extended periods of time, and we've just kept winning games and guys stepping up. I mean, Colton Sevier last night, and Freddie Gaudreau, and you can go on and on about guys that have stepped up. I mean, obviously you got Sid and Rusty and Jake and Jared McCann's done a real good job, but it's some of the role players that have really stepped up for us. And again, I said prove that we have quite a bit of depth here. We felt like adding one more forward would really solidify our group. I like our group right now, and when we get healthy, hopefully we'll stay healthy and really like our group, and we'd like to have some playoff success.
Tom Reed.
Ron, since he's come into the league, Carter has always been among the league leaders in shots on goal. And I'm wondering how that direct approach can maybe benefit your team a little bit. Even this year, I think he still leads the team in shots on goals in the top 30 in the league, especially in the playoffs when the prettier plays are sometimes harder to make.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one of Jeff's top attributes is always been his shot. He's got a very good shot. He's got a very good release. So, when you get to the puck to the net, and as you mentioned, the playoffs, it's not an easy thing to do. Some of the fancy players go by the wayside, and you got to put pucks at net. You got to go there, and Jeff does an extremely good job at that. But again, he gives us the right shot on the penalty kill and right shot on face-offs as well. So he's going to bring a lot to the table. I know our guys are excited about this deal, as are our coaches and our management team as well.
Matt Vensel.
Hey, Ron, just to be clear, are there any deals that could be coming and that haven't been announced yet? And then if not, were you close to getting anything done after doing the Jeff Carter trade early this morning?
Yeah, no, there's nothing else coming. We weren't really close on anything else. We dabbled in some things, and we had a couple calls on some of our players, but we felt good about our team and felt like we were, deep enough and hopefully can sustain the rest of the season injury-wise with the guys we have. And again, I said they've done a terrific job.
We'll take a couple more. Jim Colony.
Yeah, Ron, you mentioned some of the prominent injury guys. Gaudreau left the game last night with an injury. Was there any update on his status today?
I don't have an update. Kind of hoping to get one anytime here, but I don't have one at this moment.
Will Graves.
Ron, first, a housekeeping thing. I mean, are you flying Jeff in privately just to sort of make sure he doesn't have to do any quarantine stuff when he gets here? And secondly, how much of not wanting to make a deal was being any further deals a concern in terms of just not wanting to upset the chemistry that you guys have going, because it has been so good these last really 6-8 weeks?
That was a big topic of conversation, the chemistry, and you bring in 3 or 4 guys and all of your lines change, your D pairs change, and your room changes. So we talked long and hard about that. I know Jeff Carter pretty well, and I know Jeff's just sort of the guy that's going to come into the room and just wants to go out and play hockey and be a good guy and be a good teammate. So I know Jeff's not going to affect our chemistry in an adverse way. And on the ice, we think he's going to give us a big boost. So that was certainly a topic of conversation. A good question.
Last question, Wes Crosby.
Here on, you touched on it a bit, the injured guys, but in this case, with adding Jeff, in addition to eventually getting Gino back and then Kasperi back and then Brandon maybe after the regular season is over, is that probably about the best additions you could have, even without a trade? It's just getting those guys back.
Oh, 100%. And we talked about that as well. Like as good as we're going right now, you bring Gino and Cappy back as a pair, and you're adding a couple of nice pieces. The benefit in all this too is also that coaches have had to put different lines together. You've seen Jared McCann's line. They can go back to that line, whether they decide to put Jeff in the middle Jared on the wing. So the one thing this does, and the other thing it does is the guys coming back from injuries. This has been a tough season on the players physically. Excuse me. There's a lot of guys that are tired and beat up and hurt. And it's given the guys, excuse me, that are hurt, are going to come back and they're going to be refreshed and ready to go the rest of the year.